everyone, in this video we'll learn different genres of music that you can expect to hear at your orchestra concert. The most significant genre of orchestra music is the symphony. Symphonies consist of 4 movements. The first movement is sonata allegro form. Sonata form basically means that there are 3 different sections, and actually the first and the third sections are quite similar because they utilize the same musical ideas and materials. The middle section, which is called the development section, literally develops music into something more sophisticated, more complex, more dramatic, more different. So the first section starts and grows into the development section, and the development section takes that musical energy up and up and up and develops it to something a lot more complex and dramatic and unsettling place. And then the third section kind of takes that energy down and calms it down to the point where the movement first started, by utilizing the same materials from the first section. And that's the whole point of sonata form, that we have contrasting sections, the first and the second and third sections, and the music has some emotional journey, the up and down of energy within the one work. And allegro is a tempo marking. It basically means lively walking tempo. So first movement usually not too slow, fast enough tempo to have some energy. Because the second movement is always the slow movement. And the third movement is either minuet trio or scherzo. So the commonality of these two are that they are in triple meter. Minuet was originally the music for high-class social dance. So it's kind of classy and it's not too fast. So it goes bum 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 bum, something like that. Whereas scherzo literally means a joke, and it's really fast and it's very humorous. So although it's in the same triple meter, it feels more like ba 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 ba. And I think it's because with our human nature, we kind of inherently want to end things on the positive and hopeful notes. So I think the composers were drawn to end their pieces on this kind of mood instead of a sad and hopeless and helpless mood. And Beethoven is a very important composer that we need to talk about when it comes to the genre of symphony. Out of his 9 symphonies, almost all of them are considered as masterpieces. And he brought in so many new ideas and new expansions to the development of this genre. So earlier I mentioned that the third movement of the symphony is either minuet trio or scherzo, right? So Haydn, who is considered as the father of symphonies, because he was one of the 4 founders of this genre, and he wrote minimum 104 symphonies in his lifetime. When somebody produces that many works in the same genre, whatever pattern he does becomes the rule, and Haydn set the standard for the third movement to be the minuet trio form. But Beethoven, who was actually Haydn's student, broke off from that rule in his second symphony. So he followed that rule once, and right after that he replaced the third movement with a scherzo. And this replacement added more excitement to the genre of symphony because it was more contrasting from the slow lyrical second movement, and because the scherzo is a lot more energetic and it's very technically demanding, and there are a lot of quirky phrasings and joke-like musical gestures in scherzo. And in his 5th symphony, Beethoven connects the third movement and the fourth movement. Technically it's called attacca. If you didn't have a prior knowledge to listening to this music, you'd just think that there are 3 movements because the ending of the third movement flows into the fourth movement so naturally, it's almost unnoticeable that they are separate movements. And in his 6th symphony, Beethoven writes 5 movements instead of 4 movements. And he also connects the 3rd and 4th movement together in this symphony as well. And in his 9th symphony, he brings in the choir to the symphony genre. So prior to this, symphony was only dealing with orchestra music, but now with this ninth symphony, he opened up a whole new world of possibilities. Another popular genre of orchestra music is the concerto. Concerto basically means that there's an orchestra plus a soloist or some soloists. Some famous concertos with one soloist is Vivaldi Four Seasons, or Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, or Grieg Piano Concerto. And some famous concertos with more than one soloist are Bach Double Concerto and Beethoven Triple Concerto. Concertos are three-movement work. The first movement is often in sonata allegro form, and the second movement is lyrical slow movement, and the third movement is finale. So it's kind of similar to the symphony form without third movement, the scherzo and minuet. But because the nature of concerto is to spotlight the greatness and the amazingness of the soloists, the third movement, the finale of concertos, are very showy and technically challenging and fast and very energetic movement. By the way, these orders and the characteristics of multiple movement works applies universally. For example, if a chamber music piece has 4 movements, it's most likely going to follow the orders and characteristics of the symphony form. And if a solo sonata has 3 movements, it's most likely going to follow the orders and characteristics of this concerto 3-movement form as well. And there's the single movement genres such as overture, symphonic poem, or tone poem. Overtures are kind of condensed medley of a bigger work such as opera or ballet, and some famous overtures are overture to William Tell or overture to Magic Flute. And symphonic poem and tone poem, they are essentially the same concept. They are single movement instrumental work with less forms and regulations, basically. It's kind of free form. A very famous example of a tone poem is also Sprach Zarathustra by Strauss. And there are other multi-movement works that's not symphony, and oftentimes they have more than 4 movements. Suite is one of the genres that has more than 4 movements. Originally, it was a collection of Baroque dances, but as time moved away from Baroque era, it became more of a performance genre. Like overture, suites collage different themes and melodies from a bigger work. Some famous suite examples are Carmen Suite or Nutcracker Suite. Also, there's Serenade. Sometimes serenade can have up to like 7 or 10 movements. But serenades are lighthearted and more trivial by nature, so it's not like super long or overwhelming or anything. It's very pleasant to listen to. A very famous serenade is Mozart's Eine kleine Nachtmusik, which I made a video of a few weeks ago. I also have many videos about works that I mentioned in this video. So please check out other videos on my channel and comment below and let me know what you're curious about classical music. So these are some different genres of orchestra music. I hope you find this video helpful, and hopefully this knowledge will give you some confidence and comfort when you go to classical music concerts next time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!